wasn't supposed to watch this before, was I?
Yeah, this is a reaction video.
Oh, I made my wife watch this with me, actually, because she hadn't seen it either.
Okay, before you say anything, before we get into it, I just want to do a little bit of a preamble because we're recording right now, and this video will be actually free for everyone on our Patreon. So I'm going to make this free for everybody. We've had a few episodes now where Kyle and I have said, hey, if you come join Patreon, everything will be as per normal for non-Patreon listeners. Like, you get your episode once a week, usually once a week, but you get it once a week. Now you can see what it looks like when Kyle and I record an episode, because we've talked about how when we're doing the Rocky movies and we're talking about scenes and we're like looking at the screen and we say, hey, look at Sylvester Stallone's eye. He's got a scar there. You can see that too. If you're a Patreon, you get to see the video of me and Kyle talking, and you also get to hear some of the jokes that don't make it for good reason. The that I just did there, all the great stuff that you don't get to hear on the iTunes release. So anyways, this is free for Patreon. If you're watching this for the first time, this will probably make it so you never give us any money. It's probably...
Well, I actually think Ryan is taking the schoolyard drug dealer approach. He's giving you some for free right now, hoping you get addicted, and then do Patreon to get.
If you listen to our show, you know that we're not professionals. You know that we're not very good at this. But as low as $1 a month, you get access to everything. That's our tier. And if you're only $1 a month, we appreciate it, but you're cheap. Okay. All right.
That's Christ.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. Okay. So Kyle, this was a Patreon request. One of our patrons who does at least $5 a month. It's kind of I'd say the minimum. Every now and then we'll do a one-off episode of a non-Stallone film. Hey, look, I'll take anything for any kind of money. You give me $1,000, I'll review Sex and the City Part 2. And the action films, of course, is kind of like in that Stallone, obviously, genre. If you're a Stallone fan, chances are you're probably, if you're not a Van Damme fan, you probably would enjoy a Van Damme film. So that being said, one of our patrons, Adrian, I believe it was him, he said that, hey, when do you guys do Bloodsport? And I'm like, twist my arm, barely. Kyle had never even
heard of it.
You never even heard of it?
Never even heard of it.
I'm baffled. Was stupefied.
I don't know. That slipped through the cracks somehow. I was 4 when it came out.
Sure.
Although the Rocky movies, I was -8 when that came out.
Yeah, but the Rocky films have a zeitgeist of their own and a legacy, and we have Creed films.
I never saw it at Blockbuster, I guess.
It was there.
You're a kid and you're at Blockbuster, you see a movie, oh, this looks cool. For some reason, I never picked up Bloodsport.
Usually when we do these reviews, when I've done them with Craig and Doug, we'll often say, hey, when's the first time you saw this film, blah, blah, blah. For Kyle, obviously, the first time he saw this film was the last 48 hours, I assume, for this movie review. Is that correct? Yeah,
I was so ignorant that I didn't even know who was in it. I had no idea.
Oh,
I didn't know if Stallone was in it. I'm just started watching it. My wife, she would do as much as I did. I saw it through some fresh eyes.
I almost envy you. My history of it, like Kyle was saying, it came out when he was 4, but when it came out, I was 13. So that prime age, I was 13 years old, huge into movies. I remember being 8 years old, going to E.T. and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I saw Empire Strikes Back in the theater during its original run. I've always been a huge movie guy. I love movies. This came at the time of a 13-year-old boy. I didn't know who Van Damme was when I got the video or when I saw it, because this was his first breakthrough film. This was basically his Rocky. This is Van Damme's Rocky. This is the film that put him in the stratosphere. Like Stallone, Van Damme has some side roles and bit parts. He even played a thug himself in a couple movies, just like Stallone did. It's kind of funny how a lot of their life has mirrored each other in a way, but that being said, this was Van Damme's big vehicle at the time, 1988's Bloodsport. So the part of you patrons now, or everyone that's watching this video, if you so desire, you want to watch the video, we're going to kind of play the movie. We're going to have to skip here and there because we're not going to record for 3 hours, but we'll get to the parts that people like to talk about. And I've seen this movie, Kyle, probably no word of a lie. I wonder if I've seen this more than Rocky, because when I saw this, when I was a kid, 13 years old, I think I actually owned Bloodsport as a physical copy.
Sure, yeah. If you really like a movie enough back then, you buy it.
You buy it. And I had this on VHS. Yeah. I got this through the Columbia House Video Club. I wore this tape out. I had all the Van Damme movies at the time. I mean, I owned Bloodsport, Double Impact, Kickboxer, Cyborg even, Lionheart, and I saw them all in the theaters too.
Yeah. From my perspective, I'm seeing this movie for the first time as a 36-year-old. The movie's 32 years old. Could be a very different perspective for sure than 13-year-old Ryan, right?
Well, yeah, sure. I don't know how long it's been since I've seen the movie. A lot of things in our youth or even our 20s. Once the internet kind of kicked in and streaming services, and there's been so many new great quality TV shows and movies in the last 20, 25 years that I don't know when the last time I revisited this film. It was a Blu-ray transfer. So it actually looked really great on my computer with my computer screen. The quality won't quite transfer through here as well, but it just looked really sharp, looked really clear. So it's the clearest I've ever seen Bloodsport, because I only watched it on VHS back on the tube TVs back in the day. So it looked good, it looked fresh, but I was grinning ear to ear. It was the fastest 90 minutes that I have experienced in a long time. I couldn't believe just how quick it was. Of course, the memories of my youth were kicking in again. But as I was watching, I was thinking, I was like, I wonder how Kyle's enjoying this. I wonder if he's going to see it as what it is in the 1988. Maybe he can appreciate the fandom this film does have. If you go online, you'll see from YouTube clips and stuff just how big the fandom is of this film. It's quote unquote a cult film now, which is weird because
I read about that after the fact, cult film. One thing I found interesting about the film, I've been doing martial arts for the last 2 years. I've fought at a couple tournaments. I'm no martial arts expert or even that very good at it. It's interesting seeing it from that perspective too. Like,
sure.
'Cause I do partial contact. We do hit each other, but it's not like this, obviously.
Right.
So we call it kumite.
What?
Just like in the film.
Really?
It's the Japanese word for sparring or fighting.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the exact translation, but yeah, I found it interesting that they used kumite and it was in China.
Right.
That's what it's called in karate as well as kumite.
Did you know that it was based on a true story at the end of the film?
I saw that at the end of the film, and I was surprised that it was based on a true story. Hopefully they embellished it a little bit. Some of the, you'd call murders.
Are you talking about Chong Li?
Yeah.
I love it. Should I tell you the true story behind the movie before we review it, or do you want to review it as a person who doesn't know?
Yeah, let's just review it.
Okay.
And then we can maybe talk about that after, since it was mentioned at the end anyways. So
true. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. This is kind of Kyle's second time to view the film. Well, we'll start playing it. Yeah, we'll just start talking about it, I guess. 1988, Jean-Claude Van Damme was directed by, I forget his name, something Newton Arnold or something like that. This was only his third film to direct and his last film to direct. He's worked on a lot of films in the industry, but this was only his third feature film to direct. So yeah, he was born in California, bachelor's degree at Stanford University. He was assistant director on a lot of films, so he's been around the block. Directed 3 films, Hands of a Stranger, Bloodthirst, and then finally he directed Bloodsport. It was written by a guy named Sheldon Lettich, and he's worked with Van Damme in the future. He worked with Van Damme on Lionheart, Double Impact, Legionnaire, The Order, and there you go. So he worked on those films as a screenwriter and director. So he even directed Van Damme on Double Impact. So they kind of had a working relationship. It was kind of like his Scorsese to De Niro, the Sheldon Lettich Van Damme connection. But interesting enough for our Stallone fans, Sheldon Lettich was the screenwriter for Rambo Part 3.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there you go. We'll revisit him after that fact. Bloodsport is a 1988 American martial arts action film directed by Newt Arnold. It stars Jean-Claude Van Damme, Donald Gibb, Leah Ayres, and Bolo Young. And Forrest Whitaker right, as well. Forrest Whitaker.
We saw that in the opening credits or whatever, and I was just,
Yeah, a very early role. Yeah, 32 years ago, Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, it sold well at the box office, grossing $65 million on a budget of about $2 million. The fact that it's considered a cult classic today is kind of weird, and I've never considered it that.
Well, that's a very low budget film. $2 million is extremely
but it made
low
$65 million. Would you call Rocky a cult classic?
Is $65 million a lot though? Like it's a lot compared to $2 million.
That's a lot of money, and even if you're going to go like $65 million in '88 money. That's what?
Yeah.
90 to 100 million on a $5 million budget. That's a huge turnaround movie profit.
Yeah, it'd be like 2 to 1 between now and 88 probably. It'd be like 120 million now.
Yeah, so Bloodsport was released on VHS, selling 150,000 units by 1989 alone. And You got to figure it has sold a lot of DVDs and streaming services since then, so it continues to make money for company.
I think a lot of
Warner
housewives
Brothers.
bought that film.
A lot of what?
Housewives?
Yeah, sure. Jean-Claude looked fantastic.
There are a lot of scenes in the film where he's just...
Absolutely. Yeah. Of course. All right.
Yeah, I watched that with my wife, and she was making some comments. So.
Was she okay with it, or did she not like it? Okay, overall, did you enjoy the film?
Yeah, I did. But I didn't think it was like a good film. Like I enjoyed it because it was like kind of bad. I'll tell you what I liked to dislike. The storyline and stuff and the plot devices and all that were garbage. The fighting was pretty good. I liked that. I liked a lot of the characters. His friend, like the really large guy, I really liked him.
Ray Jackson. Yep.
Yeah. In terms of a film, watching it when you're 36 and have all that stuff, it's harder for me to like it. If I'd seen that movie when I was young and kind of was nostalgic about it, it'd be different.
Of course, that's fair.
Yeah. I wouldn't have watched this or kept watching it if it wasn't for this recording. So, don't mean to offend anybody.
No, you're not. This is the thing. You went in it so blind, you didn't even know it was a Van Damme film. So
yeah,
that blows my mind. I think you're feeling on the matter of someone who's watched films for 3.5 decades. I would assume that's probably a fair response to watching it as a film. Has it aged well in 32 years? No. But for nostalgia purposes, yes. I was watching this when it was new. Yeah.
Well, I was talking to my wife about this last night after we were watching the film, and I was trying to think of some examples of films that I like that if I showed someone who'd never seen it would probably be like, what the hell is this? What's that one? It's kind of a cult classic where this guy's like, this is my boomstick. It's like a gun, and he's showing it and like snakes come out of the ground or something. I don't know. I'm sure one of the listeners will.
Well, let's talk about a movie like Tremors.
Yeah, Tremors. That's another one I mentioned.
Yeah. Like
stuff like that. I'm like, I love this movie.
Of course you did when you were a kid. Yeah, but if you're to watch it objective, like if I was to show my mom the movie Tremors, she'd be like, what? Yeah. What are we watching here?
If I like wiped my memory of that and then watched it like I did this movie, I'd probably have a similar reaction. So, yeah. I'm not saying people who like this movie, it's a bad taste or anything. But
it's fair. So we have a shot here, of course, of...
Hong Kong.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Hong Kong?
No, I've not.
I have.
Yeah. Does it look like this, or has it changed a lot?
Well, it's changed in 32 years, yeah. It's much more, of course, modern. I was there in 2018, so it was very modern. So you have the title card here, Jean-Claude Van Damme comes up in a Newt Arnold film. I love that how they often when they say like in a Newt Arnold film or whatever type film, that means this guy must be important. Like it's a Steven Spielberg film, you know. Yeah. But this Newt Arnold, he's done 3 movies.
Look, Newt knows the game. Fake it till you make it. You have to appear as if you're a big deal for people to treat you that way.
It says there in Bolo Young as Chong Li. Bolo Young had a great role in Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
So what I love at the beginning here is we see the characters that are going to be in this tournament. So it's kind of a cold open, as they call it.
I was confused at first. I'm like, because this guy's Korean, right? And so
right.
I thought this was Hong Kong. Was it Seoul? No, it was Chinese. And then there's this guy.
This is terrible.
Okay, there's some racism in this movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that guy during the fights. But right now we have it's quick montage. We want to keep the movie playing. But for our listeners, we have a quick montage of the fighters that we're going to see in the ring coming up for the Kumite fight in China. But we're seeing them in their native lands, in their different countries. So we're seeing them in what their country might look like or their fighting style and their different. Yeah. So from Korea to the jungles of Africa to France to wherever. So it's kind of a cool idea to see who these fighters are going to be. Like Kyle was saying, it's a cold opening. It's like who's who in the zoo. But I think it's a great way to open the movie.
Yeah, and then there's this guy.
Yes, this is Ray Jackson.
This guy's so bad, he's good. His acting is so horrible, it's endearing. Like, he's one of my favorite characters.
So they're also showing scenes of the Kumite setup. During this time, they're showing that they're getting ready for the tournament. The fighters are training. And it ends with the sweeper dude, one of the best side characters in any movie, the sweeper guy. I love this guy.
Yeah. The guy sweeps like shit. He's just like randomly sweeping things into the...
So here's some great acting here. So here's some acting with Jean-Claude's first line in the movie.
You leave on furlough.
What's the problem?
The colonel found out you're going to Hong Kong. He wants to talk to you about it.
Tell him I'll be right there after I take a shower.
But I'll have to wait, sir. Okay.
We know that, of course, Frank Dukes, the character played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's taking a shower. He's going on furlough, or we call him the Canadian military. He's going on leave. He's taken off to Hong Kong to fight in this tournament. We find out why he's doing this with a flashback.
I like the opening of this movie, actually. Pretty good. I liked all the different places they are showing, and it really gets the interest going. I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? I could kind of tell a tournament was happening, and I found it very confusing that the French character is an American. They don't really hide that he's French either.
Yeah, I think what they did in this situation is we just know that Jean-Claude is from Brussels. That's just where
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's from Brussels. So that is his accent. That's the way he talks. And they wanted to get somebody that could look like they could fight, because Jean-Claude Van Damme is actually a legitimate kickboxer. He's been in tournaments. He knows. He didn't just learn how to do these moves in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's one thing I wanted to say. His martial arts was, like, super legit.
What did you think of his athletic ability that he showed in the film?
Oh, it was incredible. It was inspiring, really. His flexibility, those high kicks he was doing before he was approached by that sergeant or whoever it was. As someone who can't kick that high but would like to, I was like, oh, shit, I wish I could kick that way.
Oh, yeah. That was his Rocky moment with the punching bag. He was kicking instead of punching it. He's like, try that, Sly.
Okay, I find it funny, too, his childhood memory. They make this kid look American as apple pie. He has the baseball hat on. Everything about him's American, be like, ducks like this.
Yeah.
I found that so weird.
This actor who plays Frank Dukes Jr. in this flashback, and side note, this flashback is the longest flashback in movie history at 10.5 minutes long.
Oh, God. Yeah, I guess so.
So they go in here to steal the sword that is earned from the Kumite Championship. Frank is left sitting there with his buddies take off. He's holding the sword. And this Asian guy walks in, father, but this kid walks in, obviously the son of the father, that comes in and kicks the burglar to be, right in the gut, who happens to be a classmate, I guess, because they go to school together.
Yeah, and this kid, as we'll see later, doesn't fight back when he gets picked on. But then in this case, he
sucker punched Frank, because Frank, at this point, Frank Dukes Jr. doesn't know any martial arts.
He's a burglar, man. You got to do what you got to do.
So this kid, his only acting role was this film.
Yeah,
that's it.
I believe that.
Yeah, of course you believe it. Listen to this. Listen to this acting. I gotta listen to this.
It is a very special sword. You must earn it.
I wasn't going to steal it.
You didn't flinch. You have fighting spirit.
You're not gonna call the cops?
Not if we make a deal.
What kind of a deal?
It sounds like molester written all over it. Like, what kind of deal? Dude, this kid looks so American, but he sounds like that. I can't get over that.
I can't make his accent either. Like, is he trying to sound French? Couldn't they just find a French kid?
See, I think he's trying to sound French. I don't think he's actually French. Yeah, at least they're trying to keep it consistent. I do appreciate that.
They explain here that they are immigrant. They do make it clear here that they are from a different country.
Yeah, I guess they explain that. Maybe he's overcompensating and trying to be real American by wearing all the garb and stuff. This is a problem I find with this right here, is that they have to kind of really rush through things. He doesn't not want to train and then changes his mind or something. Like, there's kind of like, okay, well, he breaks in, and then this guy's like, hey, look, you didn't flinch, so I want to train you now to be this new fighter guy, and you're this person I just met, and I'm going to sit down with your parents. And it's just, what the? This is so weird. It doesn't flow naturally. It's very kind of just rushed. They're trying to shoehorn in how these two would meet. It was very weird.
I love how the Shidoshi, he's telling Frank Jr. that the reason why you're here is I'm not training you. You're basically the punching bag for my son. Now, check this out. Yeah, we get some more great acting from this once-in-a-lifetime role for this poor kid, and he did so horrible he never got an acting gig again. Here we go. Here's a reason why coming up.
Help me train my son. Don't question me.
If you expect me to be punching bad, you can't forget about our deal.
So if he goes, you can forget about our deal if I'm just going to be the punching bag. But here he goes, like you're saying there, Kyle. He saves the guy's son from being beaten up from 5 kids, and they got this new respect for each other. They're now friends. And once he's earned the friendship of this young boy, he's going to get it for his father. And look at this kid here. What's he looking at? I think he's reading something over his shoulder as he's giving that line.
Yeah.
there.
Okay, one thing I forgot. Didn't seem this way later in the movie, but for some reason at the beginning of the movie, my wife and I were like, is this dubbed? Like, it almost looked dubbed.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was him talking. It was weird. There are some parts where, like, are they talking? Who's talking? Is it the post-production's horrible in some of the dialogue?
Okay, yeah, now the scene, we find out the kid dies somehow, and they don't show us anything about that. That really annoyed me. Die of natural causes? Did someone kill him? Did he die of a car accident? Like, anything. Okay, he's dead. They're just kind of rushing through, like, they're trying to... Like, I felt like this movie in general is, okay, let's just try and get Jean-Claude Van Damme to fight people and make that happen somehow. It doesn't really matter how. Okay, well, we got to kill the kid, so he's dead now, and now we're going to move on and do this.
Mr. Tanaka, he's now going to hang up the gloves, so to speak. He's not training anymore because his son has died. Now, for our listeners who are not watching the video or who aren't familiar with Bloodsport, but I think a lot of our listeners are familiar with Bloodsport, Mr. Tanaka's son has died, but this is now an adult version of Frank Dukes. We'd probably assume he might be 19, 20. Jean-Claude in this film, though, for reference, is 28, so fairly young, and he's got a baby face anyways. But he's 28 in the film. But I think he's probably a young adult here. So he's got lots of training under his belt. At this point, he's probably been training with Mr. Tanaka for probably at least 5 to 7 years. And he's like, you got so much left to teach me. There's a great part here where Van Damme, the way he says a line here, I love it. He goes, to keep an open mind. I always love the way he says it. I just love the way he says it.
You don't understand. In the war, I lost my first family.
And this Mr. Tanaka actor does a great job.
Son,
Yeah, he's not bad. I have no issue with him.
they live in Hiroshima. I left Japan because
His first family died because of the...
He got A-bombed by the Americans, and now so he moved to America. This reminds me a bit of Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. I love how it's always in movies where it's like for 2,000 years, this knowledge has been passed on for father to son, father to son. It's never like 1,920 years. It's always 2,000 years or it's 100 years. It's always right on. Yeah.
That's a big thing in martial arts, though, tracing the lineage back.
Oh, here we go.
You are not Japanese. You are not a Tanaka.
You told me using any technique that works. Never to limit myself to one style. To keep an open mind.
I love that. What? To keep an open mind. Now get ready. He wants to honor Shidoshi. Now we got a training montage.
You sold him pretty quick. You convinced him. Didn't take long.
I love this training montage. For my Facebook and Twitter users, I put on YouTube, I queued the No Easy Way Out music to this video. Yeah. If you want to check that out, go to our Facebook page or just ask me for it and I'll send you the link. But it's pretty fun. I just put No Easy Way Out behind this training montage. And for the many part, it kind of worked. Because here's the music you're hearing. It's not quite as good as No Easy Way Out. But it's not bad.
Very 80s music, for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's actually a pretty great soundtrack. Even for 1988, but I always remember loving the music in this movie. And
this music reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah. So do you recognize any of these moves? I love how he gets tossed over the edge there, but he still honors his Shidoshi. Like, yes.
This guy says to incorporate many different styles. I don't recognize what style he's using exactly. It does seem kind of karate-ish, because it's very linear.
Could argue this is mixed martial arts.
Well, this is what this whole tournament really is like UFC.
It is. It's UFC before there was a UFC. So that was Splits number 1 with Van Damme. We should do a split count.
It should be a drinking game. You take a shot every time, Jean-Claude. Okay, actually, can I tell you something, Ryan, just as a pause? I normally go to a dojo to train for karate, but because of COVID-19, we're doing it over Zoom like this. And there's a certain move we do that they actually call in our class a Jean-Claude.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what's actually called in karate, but that's like what the what the instructor calls it. He's okay, I need you to do step back, do a Jean-Claude, pivot the other way, do another Jean-Claude.
For our listeners who aren't seeing this, I'll say that a few times, I apologize, but for our listeners, there was a sequence that will play later, a big part later in the film, but we see that Frank Dukes has done some blind training to be aware. It's almost that mystical, that he can see without seeing. He's serving tea, so he's memorized the sequence of events to serve tea to his master and his master's wife. And the master, Shidoshi, is about to drink the tea, but he doesn't drink it. Instead, he's about to punch him in the face, and Frank Dukes catches the punch. So that, I guess, a very elite part of his training.
Okay, and what he was doing here, getting hit with the bamboo and stuff, that's a certain style of karate called Goju Ryu. You tighten your body, and you basically can absorb any blow that comes to you. Like, it's very brutal, very tough type of karate. I don't do that kind. That is a popular type of karate. It's pretty harsh, though. The guy seems like he's kind of more that style.
Right, so he's giving them pain resistance training. It's
not fast martial arts. It's more like absorbing blows and then also counter techniques. It's almost stationary. Like, he just stands there, and then some guy will hit him or come at him, and he'll either take the punch or kind of move and use his strength against him. That's not a lot of type of martial arts aren't really like that, but some are. I don't see him mixing a lot of styles here, though. This feat here is quite impressive.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Van Damme. He's 28 years old here, and you can tell, I think, from what I can see, just the same way Sly did for the Rocky films and for the Rambo films, he's put in a lot of his physical body into this stuff.
Okay, turn the music on here, because I made a note. My wife and I were kind of saying that this music's almost kind of romantic.
Oh, I love this. I love this music part. Yeah,
they're connecting here. It's like this bromance that's going on.
Getting not the sword, but he's earning the sword.
Yeah, he's becoming part of the family. Music is kind of romantic. Martial arts bromance.
I've always liked the scene. I know this film was funny because there's some legitimately really touching good scenes. And I know it's aged in some parts, but I just like this one shot here. It looks almost something out of Lord of the Rings. It's got this huge tree in the background, and
it's like a very private ritual.
Yeah, I've always liked that.
It's not bad. I don't mind that scene at all.
So, Mr. Tanaka's dying.
He sleeps like that too. He looks like he's dead, and someone neatly tucked him in like that.
Are you awake?
But, just so disciplined, even though he sleeps.
Sleep with your eyes open.
How are you feeling?
Like an old man. And how about you?
I'm going to Hong Kong.
You sure you want to do this?
So he's telling Mr. Tanaka, his master, that he's going to the Kumite Championship to honor the clan, the Tanaka clan.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about him and how he did in that tournament, what happened. I wish there was a flashback or something to when he was young.
There should have been a Bloodsport prequel to see the Tanaka clan and the Kumite fights.
There still could be.
That's true.
He's in Hong Kong.
Yeah, and there's a little Hong Kong girl sitting next to him on the bus. I like how he just kind of does a casual glance over there. Yeah, I see a pretty girl.
Okay, I thought for sure this guy was going to be the villain at the start, based on him earlier in the film, and then how he's kind of like an asshole with a beer on there and being obnoxious and stuff.
I love how he's got his wallet with the chain connected to his jeans wallet. Remember doing that back in the 80s and 90s?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I ever did it, but it was very popular.
So Ray Jackson, of course, being a pig, he's kind of hitting on that girl that Frank Dukes was looking at.
I thought they were going to fight here or something. I thought for sure, he's going to fight and they're going to have a rivalry in the tournament. In my mind, I'm like, that will happen. But it really went the other way.
Yeah, they became like best friends.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a scene here of a reporter. She's trying to talk to some of the contestants at a bar at the hotel where all the fighters are staying for the fight. She's an investigative journalist, and she's trying to get information about this secretive, full contact, no rules, almost competition, and they're not giving her anything.
Yeah, I didn't know it was secret till this point, right? This is them informing the audience that it's secret. These guys are like the shittiest secret keepers. They should just not talk to her at all. What Kumite? What are you talking about? They kind of did it. It's like a secret, not secret type of thing.
Yeah, and they're wearing, I don't know if those are called gis, but they're wearing fighting outfits. They were wearing.
How do you get invited to the tournament? Do you get invited? They had these invitations they brought. This guy must have got his through Tanaka or something because they recognized that before. How did this guy he's with? How did he get invited?
I don't know how Ray Jackson. So Ray Jackson, for our listeners, he's 6'5". He looks like a biker. He's a drunk. He has no real build. He's got that biker build. He's got basically like a bully. The bully at school type build with a beard.
Oh, yeah. He seems to box. That's his thing.
Yeah, so during his fighting, he actually does no martial arts. There's no discernible martial arts whatsoever.
He's like a WWF wrestler.
Yes,
almost.
yeah. He's basically a wrestler.
Yeah.
But a street thug brawler.
Yeah, but he gets invited to this Asian tournament somehow. He has these connections. They see him and be like, we want this guy fighting. I don't know, who cares, right? But it's weird.
Did you ever watch early days UFC, the first few?
No, I never got into UFC till recently. Basically, when I started doing martial arts, I started getting into UFC. But yeah, I've gone back to see it, like Ken Shamrock.
I used to watch the UFC before it was pay-per-view. I used to rent the VHS tapes, and I would rent the first. So I rent them in order. I've seen UFC Part 1, and so I was watching like the Tank Abbotts and the Ken Shamrocks and all those early day ones, man. They were brutal.
Yeah, and did you ever see the one Shamrock was in before UFC? It was in Japan. Boss Rutan was in that one a lot too. It was like a boxing ring, but it was mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting as well. I want to talk about these military guys and them not wanting him to go to Hong Kong and stuff.
Right.
It seems like they consider Frank Dukes almost a Jason Bourne type of elite fighter. There's their weapon they want to keep safe. They don't want to get f***ed up in Hong Kong or whatever.
Yeah, it's not really clear because I'm in the military and COVID-19 aside, but just in general, I could travel to Hong Kong. It's not a place I couldn't travel to. I wouldn't have to say that I'm going there to fight. Let's just say I was going to California on vacation. If I decided to go for 3 days of a fight club, the military would be none the wiser.
Here they seem to find out this guy's so special, right? So like they make the case later that they've invested so much time in his training and stuff, but we don't see any of that at all. We only see his martial arts ability, which he was trained outside of the military for. And generally in the military, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't do a lot of hand-to-hand combat in actual war. You are shooting people.
Yeah, we're led to believe that the Frank Dukes character, at least in the film, is someone of great importance. And he's risking a lot going to this illegal fighting tournament to honor his Tanaka clan, his Master Shidoshi.
The problem I find here is that you don't see a real villain yet. You kind of see the villain with Chong Li or whatever his name, Chong Li.
Chong Li, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to mix him up with the chick on the Street Fighter video game, but
yeah,
he's kind of a villain. There has to be some sort of struggle, right? He needs to go to the tournament. That's one kind of struggle, but he needs to have opposition to this to keep it interesting. And so they insert these military guys in who are kind of opposing him along the way. I find it poorly written because it doesn't make sense. Watching this for the first time at this stage of my life,
sure,
it's hard for me to suspend disbelief, right? If I was 13, I could suspend disbelief.
Yes.
If I'd seen it a bunch of times, I could suspend disbelief or not care. But at this time, I'm like, what? Why is this a problem? What's happening?
They don't ever say why he can't fight there, other than the fact that the fighting's illegal.
This, I believe, is Kowloon Wall City.
It is.
I wish I can go back in time and visit that place. They've bulldozed it now. It doesn't exist anymore. But for those who don't know, it's this kind of area, Kowloon, which is kind of between the Hong Kong city and mainland China. It's this no man's land. It's really lawless. And people built these makeshift shelters that merged into this gigantic complex of just makeshift houses. Apparently, like tens of thousands of people lived there at one point in the 80s. There's all kinds of illegal businesses. There's dentists that aren't really dentists.
It's scary.
But you can go there to have some hack pull your tooth out.
Ugh.
There's people processing dog meat in there. Like I saw an interesting documentary on it, and so it really piqued my interest when I saw that they went to Kowloon Wall City, because I would have loved to be like
It's amazing they did some of the filming there back in '88.
Is that actually Kowloon Wall City?
Yes.
I just assumed they faked it.
No, they filmed.
That's one part I liked about the film, is that looks real. That looks like what I've seen on TV.
Yeah, I don't think very many films have done it, but it's weird that all these guys are all like no names in the business back then. I find it very interesting, almost like a guerrilla filming style.
You could film in Kowloon Wall City because there's no rules there.
Oh, I guess that's true.
You don't need a permit because you can do anything there. Sell drugs in there, no one would care.
Watch the scenes coming up later when they're chasing through the streets and stuff. Well, look at the people who aren't in the film, and they're genuinely looking around like, what's going on here? Why is this white guy running down the alleyway?
Kind of like Rocky in
exactly
the Italian place.
This is the Hong Kong alleyway run. So yeah, this is all legit. I think that's why they did such a great little camera work there by showing you just what this place looks like.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that that place existed.
It's so weird and gross and scary.
Yeah, basically the poorest of the poor lived here because Hong Kong is the most unaffordable city in the world. It is extremely hard to find a place to live. So if you're really down and out, this is where you move.
Yeah, so you can see this looks real.
There's kids there.
Yeah.
Like there's people, the kids grow up in this like shithole place.
Yeah.
Imagine what that place would smell like if you're filming here. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just as easy to film the real place and to build a set.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but especially when your budget's $2 million.
Yeah. I saw this movie so many times. I had every wireway and every alley scene memorized. So this walk down that they do, I remember having it really take me as a child, as a teenager back then, into a different world. I was taken there. I really believed I was there. It's very effective as a young to watch this as a youngin.
I really like the camera work they did in there to give you the good view of that was really good. But then it's like this nice tournament hall, kind of. Well, it's not nice, but it's like nice-ish.
It's not bad.
It's nicer than everything else. I wonder if this is actually in Kowloon City.
I don't know where this filming took place for the tournament itself.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not in the city there.
So you got this guy here, not this guy, but the first guy with the book. What I like is they're showing you everyone in the crowd's placing bets, as you'll see later in the film.
Yeah, I imagine it's like this underground thing where like the underground elites of Hong Kong are invited to attend and to gamble. That's probably how the tournament makes its money and can function and why it's even there.
I love these guys here. They do a great job of being the people in charge, the handlers. I like how they play it. These guys do a great job, like kind of running.
This is what tournaments are like too. You have to show there and show this thing, and everyone's super serious, which is funny because otherwise this tournament's a zoo.
So they're questioning his line. They said if Tanaka is a Shidoshi, he needs to prove it. So they say, show us the dim mak.
Death touch.
Death touch. I love the music in the background.
Vic, choose a brick.
Okay, Frank. What about this one?
Now, it's funny, Frank Dukes asks Vic, their handler, to choose a brick. So the idea of the dim mak is, I guess he has to break a brick without breaking anything else. The guy chooses the top brick. I don't know if I would ever choose the bottom brick for this competition, but I would never choose the top brick. So it's kind of weird that they made him choose the top brick to break. So he's about to break it.
You'll see that he doesn't break the top brick.
No. But what's interesting is that, in mid-strike, they call him out to stop, which is apparently that's important, that you should be able to control your movements.
Yeah, control's huge.
Go! Bottom one.
Now, what I love is when that guy called out no, everyone's now gathering around. We see these future fighters, gathering around saying, well, why is this guy getting yelled at? And then now everyone's watching.
He's getting sized up by everybody.
It's a great little scene, and I know it's a neat little effect on how they make the brick on the bottom explode, but I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think this is fine. I love. Like, it looks like he's kind of like a half of an orgasm.
I love it.
Like
the
that.
Van Damme, the Van Dammeism.
Yeah, Van Damme-gasm.
Yeah, Van Damme-gasm. I love it. So of course Chong Li is like,
very good, but brick not hit back.
So Bolo Young, the actor slash bodybuilder slash karate guy, he's the real deal. He's still doing movies now at the age of 73.
Yeah, I recognized him right away. I was like, oh, him, cool. Like,
yeah, he was also in Double Impact with Jean-Claude.
But you start to see him as a bit of a villain, but he's really just talking a bit of smack, so he's not that much of a villain.
Yeah, he's not really a villain in the sense that we'll see later in the fight tournament what the kind of crap really big thing that he did, and right now, the FBI agents, they've gone to the Hong Kong police saying, look, we've got a guy here. His name's Frank Dukes. He belongs in the military. He's here without permission. Can you help us track him down? The police aren't that anxious to help. He's kind of like, oh, Kumite, I've never, well, I'll see what I can do.
But this is in a very American type of perspective that you can just send your law people over and just investigate anywhere in the world wherever you feel like it. If these guys came to Hong Kong, the police would be like, yeah, go away.
Right.
You don't. You can't do this. You have no jurisdiction here.
It's an American thing. It's a film thing. Like, there's no red tape. There's no paperwork. Yeah, but they just literally like go to the chief inspector and say, "Look, we got a guy here that shouldn't be here. You got to locate him for us, all right? Any questions?" It's very American, very 1980s. What do you think of this stereotype here?
Oh, I think it's hilarious. These guys are wearing those things in their head, but otherwise like normal. My wife's like, that guy could not have raised his hand any slower.
They really got some attractive guys.
Yeah, these guys are like caricatures. It reminds me of Back to the Future and the Libyans.
Right.
They killed Doc Brown, and they had those things in their head too.
So for our listeners, we have 3
Arabs,
I guess. Yeah, they're wearing tablecloths for bandanas or whatever.
Yeah,
but then they're wearing, like I said, jogging suits as well. They're part of the tournament. Well, the one guy is, and he's basically with that investigative reporter. She's an attractive blonde lady, and they're about to take her upstairs and rape her, essentially.
Yeah, the part I found problematic, and especially my wife, even though Jean-Claude doesn't intend to do anything, they're like, okay, let's play this contest to see who gets to bang this chick up in the hotel room. Like, she's like a piece of property or something.
No,
right?
but I thought that too, but you know what it was? So they're playing a game. If I can take this cord out of your hand before you can close it, the girl goes with me.
He has good intentions. He doesn't really want to do anything, but it appears that way, especially to her, right? Like, he gives her the wink.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's playing the role to diffuse the situation. He doesn't want to fight these guys in the lobby because he'll be disqualified from the tournament. So he has to be able to take this girl away from the situation without violence. Yeah. He's speaking in terms that they would agree to. He's not going to sit there and say, she's not a piece of property. You can't just take, because they'd be like,
I know.
But you're right. But I think honestly, even in 1988, I recognized that his intentions even then was to play their game. That's why he winked at her, saying, "Look, I'm just playing their game. You're not property, but I'm just trying to diffuse the situation." I thought it was well done.
Yeah, he used deception. Yeah, he played to the situation. And you kind of have a bit of a romance bubbling over here.
Yeah, definitely. They're both attractive people. Let them be.
Yeah.
She's still trying to get the piece of the story. So she goes, I want to know more about the story. And he says, like, well, I'll tell you something if you have dinner with me tonight. Oh, splits number 3. This is the third one.
Yeah. Probably from her view, what she probably thinks he's saying is, I'll tell you, but you have to sleep with me.
That's what it seems like on his end. But wait till the date. She comes on hard.
Oh, well, yeah, because he's an attractive guy and he's charming and he has the accent and...
I love this Ray Jackson. He comes into the hotel room. So Frank Deuce is doing splits. This is the morning of the fight. So he's doing his meditation, splits, and, whatever, like slow motion type karate moves. And Ray Jackson comes in with a beer in his hand. Of course, he's drinking beer on the day of the fight.
Don't drink that piss before a fight. It's no good for you.
Yeah, can you imagine if Mickey was training Ray Jackson?
Yeah.
I can't even say you got heart, kid, but you're fighting like an ape. Yeah,
he's doing karate stuff here. Wow, this meditation. That's a certain style of karate, Nahate style. So that's some stuff that we do there. It's like really slow and kind of purposeful movement. It's not quite Tai Chi, but...
I love how they have their own little opening ceremony for the Kumite. A little flag show.
Yeah. Who assigned this guy to them as the chaperone?
Yeah, this is the organizer. So his job, like he was saying, his job is to take care of, specifically, he says, the North Americans, the people that have a hard time in foreign countries. So his job is to take care of the English-speaking guys, to make sure they stay out of trouble, they don't fight outside the ring, shows them where their hotels, where it's safe to eat. And it's a pretty great idea. It's a good little story device. And he's not an annoying character. He's quite a fun little character.
I like him.
Yeah.
I really like his character a lot.
Oh, we should hear this. So the opening ceremonies are over. Now explain how this kumite works. And I love the music, the gong sound. They have this gong sound.
Warriors of the world. Today, you become part of a tradition that began hundreds of years ago. The kumite was first used by the Korukai, the Black Dragon Society, to measure the fighting skills and spirit of its members. Every 5 years, the best fighters in its ranks would face each other in full contact, with one winner emerging as the superior warrior, the champion. The Kokurukai has been joined by the International Fighting Arts Association as co-sponsor for this event and as the guardians of a rich and powerful heritage. After 3 days, one fighter will prove himself to be the best. May the mightiest warrior prevail.
There you go.
Okay. It seems very Japanese. The words seem Japanese. These guys seem Japanese. Everything seems Japanese, but it's in China.
You could argue maybe that's just where the venue was. Probably looser rules, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Japan would put up with this. It also makes it seem the international whatever is involved.
They're co-sponsors.
Is it still secret then? No,
I know.
I'm picking a bit.
Look, I'm gushing because I love this film, but even when we talk about the Rocky films, doesn't mean every scene or everything makes sense or everything's perfect. Oh, they bring up a little thing here. They explain the rules of Kumite.
Oh, could you rewind a bit of when he talks about the three things?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I swear one word was in Cyrillic alphabet for some reason.
Now remember, it's full contact. There are 3 ways to win. 1, you knock the guy out. 2, the opponent quits and shouts Mate.
Yeah.
It's like saying uncle.
This last letter,
right off the
Mate, is a Russian letter.
Oh, really? They make it clear it's full contact. 3 ways to win is they actually being tossed out of the ring, which is weird. But if you're tossed out, you're out, whether you're knocked out or not.
That is a big no-no in tournaments, though, is to leave the ring space.
Okay.
For the ones I fight at, it's just tape on the floor. You could lose points and stuff for that. Where here, I guess you just lose totally because they don't count points. It's just until someone gets obliterated.
They're starting their fighting, and there's a scene here where the guy spews blood everywhere. And I love when the movie acknowledges its name of the title in the movie. That's kind of cool.
That's why they call this thing Bloodsport, kid.
Guy's talking as if he knows. I think it's his first time in the tournament too.
It's not, because he mentions that Chong Li did something to somebody the year before the last.
Oh, okay. When they explain the rules, he's like piece of cake. It seemed like he just heard that or something. Maybe it's just the way I interpreted that.
It could be his first fight or his first kumite. You're right, and he just knows the legend of Chong Li himself.
Yeah, I'd like to know his backstory, his connections.
So Ray Jackson's going up now. Goes, watch this, Frankie. I'll show you how it's done, buddy.
He has a Muay Thai type of band around his waist. Or no, never mind. Sorry. In tournaments, often you have to wear colored bands so they know how to score points. They call it Aka and Shiru in karate, but
okay.
So maybe that's why they have him on.
I always feel bad for this little guy that fights Ray Jackson, but he's the one that put himself in the ring, but he's just a small little kid, and Jackson just destroys him. Oh, he sees blood and now he's mad.
It's like when Rocky gets headbutted by Spider Rico.
Look at that, just a forearm to the face.
Yeah, he grabbed the hair and then did the bashing there.
But he goes all crazy here. He goes to Chong Li and he goes, I'm going to kill you, man. You got it. But it's weird how Ray just gets so angry at Chong Li all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's not in his character really. Other than maybe he's mentally unstable.
I think so. Here, I love that guy, the sweeping guy. Clean the blood off the mat as best he can. And he was ordered to do it by the referee. Clean it up.
Okay, I love how this guy's going to put his shirt back on when he has someone else's blood all over his...
It grosses me out, yeah. All right, now we're going to see Chong Li fight. See what he's like.
Everyone loves this guy.
Chong Li, the current champ.
He's never been defeated. Holds awesome records, including the fastest KO. He killed a guy during the last Kumite.
Yep, kicked the poor bastard right in the throat. I died right there on the platform. Chong Li stood there and watched him die.
Yeah, so he does seem to know. He does seem to know a lot of details. He's been here before.
Either he saw it, maybe he watched the fight. Now he's in it.
Yeah.
Look at this guy's huge, eh?
Yeah, he has huge pecs.
Okay. The MVP, other than Van Damme, but the MVP, the highlight, Chong Li or Bolo Young, his performance of Chong Li is amazing. Though his mannerisms are so great, the way he carries himself, it's just, I love the way he is, his facial expressions, the way look at that saunter, and the way he just, hey.
He didn't kill people, he would not be a villain. He'd just be a badass.
He waits the crowd just before he gives the knockout punch.
He seems to do this neck twist where he breaks someone's neck or something.
Not yet. So that's when he does the death one. We don't want to spoil it yet.
Well, yeah. I was wondering if he was killing all these people or not.
No, no, it's just the one. That's why they acted the way they did. He just knocked out that guy. So he just
really
knocked
fast. New world record.
I love how quickly they got the sign and time in there for the new world record. They were quick on those cards.
Yeah, they don't screw around.
So now we see Frank Dukes and his first fight in the Kumite.
It's weird, too. He does just a head bow. Yeah.
So now he's fighting the guy that took the coin out of his hand. Or a side note here, Kyle, when he beats this guy, and the guy gets off the mat and goes after Frank Dukes again, when Van Damme hits him in the head, apparently he really knocked him out in real life. And they kept it in the film. For our viewers, they'll get to see that. Here, of course...
What is this? What is this?
I know.
Did he use the Force? That was something I was really, like... Did the guy just give up, or... I have no idea what happened.
I think he played dead, maybe. Now the fight's not over yet.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, here. There, right here.
Oh, yes. Elbow to the face, right in the jaw. That would knock you out.
Apparently, there's a real knockout. They kept it in the film.
Well, yeah, if you connected like that, that'd for sure knock someone out. You really see here the contrast between Jean-Claude Van Damme and the Chun-Li character. Van Damme is respectful. Like, he bows to his opponent. He doesn't unnecessarily hurt him. He was very merciful to the guy at the end. It only elbowed him in the face. The guy tried to, like, sucker punch him. But so you see he's, like, honorable. Now there's this weird scene where the guy, like, gets his tooth.
This is a great little side story. I love this sweeper
this guy seems like a rodent. He's like this mouse. He's like, oh, I found a piece of cheese or something. Like,
I love this guy because he opens up the movie sweeping. You know, I think this guy takes great pride in this kumite. Yeah, he's got a gold tooth. Of all the teeth that get knocked out, it's a gold tooth. And now what I love,
beard is shit too.
What I love, check this out. So he goes into clandestine, clean up the blood to take the gold tooth off the mat, and he goes to fit it to his teeth. But watch this. He goes to see if it will fit in his mouth.
I don't think so. I thought that too, but my wife thinks he's biting it to see if it's real gold.
Okay, okay, I'll see if that's true. If I'm right, what I found interesting was this guy has perfect teeth. Check out his teeth. They're legit perfect teeth, this guy. So I don't know where this guy gets his dentist work done. And check this out. Watch his teeth. They're actually very good teeth. They're white and straight. Oh, you're right about the biting.
Down on it.
You're right. Yeah. But look, see his
my wife's right. I thought he was doing something else. I'm like, why is he doing that?
Okay.
She's like,
Good for your wife. 100 viewings. 100 viewings, and I always thought he was seeing if it would fit his teeth. But I just noticed with the high def of watching this, there's some things I noticed, and one of those things was the fact that I love these fights. Yeah, he was chewing to see if it was gold. That's cool. Okay, so what do you think of this fighter here?
Okay. Yeah, he's fighting like a monkey or an animal or something.
It's a monkey. Look, he did. So watch this. He hits his head like. Watch. For our listeners, there's no other way to say it. There's this black character, and we saw him in the earlier or the early montage at the very beginning of the film. He hopped up a tree and he cracked coconuts that were tied to a branch. As part of his training.
I was being a bit of an apologist here when my wife and I were discussing this.
Before you do. There is a scene where it would just never fit well. I mean, this is horror. This is horrible racism. But he actually taps his head like a monkey. You like that?
Well, he scratches his chest too.
So it's almost like he's an animal, like he's acting like an animal. Now maybe
so the apologist me was saying that martial arts originally was based off the movement of animal.
Okay, that's fair.
And but then she's like, yeah, but it's like they're doing a black guy who's acting like a monkey.
Yeah.
And then also she pointed out, which I thought was a fair point, that Forrest Whitaker in the movie is a real goofball too. Like the white guy is like the serious guy. But
no. The white guy is more of a goof. No. Forrest Whitaker's character is serious. He's trying to play by the book. He's trying to and he always gets basically told to be quiet by the senior officer. That's how I looked at it.
Because he seems almost clumsy and like oafish.
Oh, this guy here, the French kind of fighting guy, he's a real fighter in real life too.
It would make sense that you use real fighters for movies like this as much as possible. Look.
He threw him out. But watch, when he hits the ground, it knocks him out. I love how it always just knocks him out when they hit the ground. So we're getting basically here, guys, a montage of the fights. And it just shows you all the different fighters as they advance the first few rounds, kind of who's who in the zoo, who Frank Dukes is going to probably have to face as he advances.
Yeah, and it's showing us the true brutality of this tournament. It's like, this is for real. This isn't some like official type of tournament.
This is a great scene. Here's the FBI agents. They're having their lunch, and they're having a hard time, especially Forrest Whitaker's character. He's having a hard time with the chopsticks, and they're eating eel, of all things. And the inspector comes here. I love how the inspector found them and was able to tell them where Frank Dukes is staying at the hotel because that's where all the fighters. So at first we thought that the police weren't going to help, but he actually said, "Hey, all the fighters are staying at this hotel. That's where he is."
Yeah, but now the Hong Kong police are working for these American agents. Is like doing all the legwork for them.
Yeah, they're eating. Yeah,
yeah.
But what I love here too, there's a line here by the inspector that's a throwaway line, but it's done so deadpan so well. They're having this. He goes. He says,
I wouldn't eat here.
I never, but it's done so quickly. Oh, have you tried the eel here? And he goes, oh, I never eat here. Because he's a local. He knows better to eat this place, but the Americans are eating here.
I loved that line. That was really good. He like the Forrest Whitaker as he's like giggling and stuff and like stabbing it with a chopstick.
How's the reel? As good as mine?
I don't know. I haven't tasted it yet. I think I'll tell him to kill it first.
You should ask for forks.
Inspector Chen. What a pleasant surprise. Please join us.
No, I never eat here. I found some information for you.
I don't. That's a great little. I also put on Twitter about these two these two FBI agents. They're such great side characters, and even every scene they're in, it's never annoying or stupid. Like I enjoy watching their banter and the way they are together, and I would love to see a standalone movie with these two.
Why not?
Try to solve a crime in international waters or something. These two are hilarious. This guy's probably dead now. This is 32 years ago.
Yeah, and that guy looks about 60.
At least 60 to 65 here, so he's probably 98 now if he's still alive, or like 90.
He probably doesn't remember this movie even happened if he's still alive.
And Forrest Whitaker here is so young in his career that his eye is almost lazy.
Yeah.
All right, so the inspector tells them where they are.
What is it, Inspector?
Frank Dukes is at the East Lake Hotel in Kowloon.
Thank you.
So he throws the eel to the dog as they leave, and the dog doesn't even touch it.
Yeah, no. And then this guy's pounding. He's on his third beer.
This is day one of the tournament, right? So they just completed day one of the tournament. They're having some beers, and of course Frank Dukes is drinking water in the lobby. And the FBI agents come up to take Frank Duke away. And Frank says, I'm only leaving when the Kumite's over.
I ain't your pal, dickface.
Look, Frank, the government has invested a lot of time and money in you.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam can't afford to let you get hurt.
I won't get hurt.
That's why we're here, to make sure of that. Don't make it tough on us, Frank.
I'll be in the airport in 2 days. It's not good enough. Frank, read my lips.
So they pull out these what do you call those voltage guns?
Tasers.
Yeah, tasers. Old school. Look at those things. I love how they pull those out of their pockets. That must have been very uncomfortable carrying those things around. They're like the size of a...
Like a cell phone, like an 80s cell phone.
Yeah, they're huge. Imagine carrying that around your pocket. That's very annoying. But they both pulled out of their pockets like it's such a comfortable thing to have in your suit pocket.
I'm sure that also the Hong Kong airport security was totally fine with them bringing that into the country.
Yeah. What I love about this chase scene, so now they're on a foot chase. The two FBI agents are after Frank Dukes through the streets of Hong Kong. And Frank Dukes is just having so much fun getting away from them. He's like waits for them. But watch these scenes as he's running through these areas. You'll go see some of the locals thinking, what is going on here? Like, who are these people?
I'm sure they didn't even get permits for this on the streets. They're just like, man, let's just go ahead.
Yeah, these aren't paid extras. These are just legitimately people who happen to be on the street at the time.
Yeah, and then they're never going to catch him because they're out of shape.
You know what
if they were in decent shape, they're not in his kind of shape.
You know what this reminds me of when I was watching this? Do you ever watch the Scooby-Doo cartoons?
Well, like back in the day.
Yeah, sure. when the kids are getting chased by the ghosts and the bad guys.
Yeah.
And they're running through the houses and through the streets or whatever. This is what reminds me of the Scooby-Doo chases. So now they're running across.
Yeah, look at the people you're right, like the vendors and stuff are looking at them like they're insane.
Now, obviously, those people were told because there's cameras right there. But this is like a fun little comedic moment. I guess they're trying to lighten the mood a little bit because they just had a big brutal fight, and now they fall in the water, and yeah, there you go. Good times.
Yeah, it kind of shows how buffoonish these guys are. But that's kind of also a problem, is that this character runs into no real opposition, really, like until the very end. Everything's easy for him. He just kicks ass like it's nothing.
It's true. He doesn't have any opposition. Even with this date that he's having now, this is the date that he promised the first night. She just says, "Look, I'm going to have sex with you." That's basically what she says.
Sounds wild.
You have to see it to believe it.
Oh, come on, Frank. Couldn't you just get me in? I really want this story. It would mean so much to me.
They have strict rules. No press.
I bet we could think of something.
See,
I doubt it.
I think I've seen this movie
You tell
before.
me you never break rules?
What do you mean?
Who are Helmer and Rollins?
Just friends. Why?
They must be very close friends. They've been inquiring about you all over Hong Kong.
What do you want from me?
Well, I'd really like you to help me get into the Kumite. More than that, I'd really like to get to know you. After all, we have all night.
So you got to hand it.
She's saying we want a bone. Okay, I did write a timestamp here, 5039, which is coming up here.
Yeah. Well, first we get the. Is this the gratuitous butt shot? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Do you want me to pause that? Do you want to pause that?
No, it's okay. She's laying a butt shot. So yeah, you can pause that. Sure.
Yeah, look at that.
She's very satisfied because he probably performs extremely well in bed.
I'm sure.
He's very flexible. He probably is really giving. Like Ryan's gonna have to edit all this shit out.
Oh man.
Okay, so Nanny says after he bangs her, I'm still not bringing you to the Kumite, right? And then she's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. And so I wrote here, 5039, he f***ed the ambition out of her.
Oh, they're going to have dinner again tonight. So this is day 2 of the fight. So you got to hand it. This guy went all night with her, probably got a couple hours sleep. He had dinner, drinks. I don't think their lovemaking was only 10 minutes long.
His legs are weaker now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he is. Boy, Ray Jackson's drinking beer. He's having women weakened legs.
Yeah, and she doesn't care about Kumite anymore. She just wants some more of this stuff.
Well,
here.
she knows. She knows. We'll find out later that she gets into the tournament. She already had a way.
She doesn't need him to get in. That's another thing. It's like, why is she even bought?
She just wanted. She wanted some Van Damme.
I don't blame her. She's smoking hot too, right? So,
I do like the refrain, especially for an 80s film back in the day, that they actually didn't show the sex scene. They didn't have to. A lesser film would have just done it just to say, we got some TNA in our film. But
he probably do the splits during part of it too. He's like, look at this.
Oh, this is funny here.
Pick a brick. Any brick. I know. Bottom one, right?
He brushes it off a
little bit. Not a scratch on it.
Locked him.
Neither is this. For you.
Yo, Ricky. Oh, I hope we don't.
So that is something that's interesting, is that they didn't end up fighting each other. It just so happened that
I was disappointed.
Yeah, I know, but it would have been a conflict. A better film would have had that conflict. But
yeah.
But
if he had to really hurt him in order to advance in the tournament, like he has to choose between hurting his friend and like being able to fight Chun-Li or something.
So she got into the tournament. We're seeing a scene here where she got in. Now this is day 2 of the fighting. So we're going to see.
Yeah, that guy gets Van Damme sloppy seconds for sure.
Well, I don't know. We're not led to believe. Well, she didn't have sex with him yet. I bet she'll probably dump him on that night of or something. Or.
Well, yeah, these people don't need to know how like transactions work.
It's true.
Yeah, don't take her there until she delivers the goods, or maybe she can give like a partial payment of some sort, and then the rest after the tournament. I don't know. I love this guy here. He's like Muay Thai type of style, the white guy.
Yeah. What's the right on his?
I think it's in Thai.
Okay.
Who knows what it says?
It's pretty cool. They show on the investigative journal. So she's in here watching the secret fighting. It's pretty good little acting there of kind of like look and awe and wonder at the fight and the brutality of it that the actress is showing, that she wanted in here. You know, you get what you pay. You know, you get what you ask for, and she's going to see some things she never thought she would see.
Okay, what I wish I would have seen here is blood get on her or something like that, so it becomes like more real. Like some guy's face gets busted open, and you see like blood go in her face, and then she has like this deadpan look, like shit just got real, like her makeup's ruined or something. That would have been cool.
I love Van Damme's. Yeah, he's got some great kicks, and I love his little leg lifts that he does. Like here, this is a great one here. Booyah!
Yeah,
like the little leg lifts that he does. They're little. I don't know what you'd call that.
Yeah, he's just blowing through people like they're nothing.
Now we're seeing Chong Li fight. He gets a shot to the face. He laughs it off.
Yeah, it's also not hard for him either. Fighting all these people is just a formality. Like, they will meet at the end, of course.
This was one of the more brutal scenes in the film, actually, right here. The leg break.
Oh, yeah, I did write it. I wrote 55 minutes, bone shot, unnecessarily brutal.
It's weird, because this movie is violent, but it's not that bad considering it's called Bloodsport. Like, but the leg break, because the way he does it, so he busts his face. This guy now is just flopping around. He can do whatever he wants to him, but he decides, no, I'll just break his leg. Oh,
look at his face. Yeah. Then the guy beside her's like, yeah, this is just how it goes.
It just goes, you know. And the crowd just loves it. They just love it. And look at this. I love it. He just gets pumped up.
Well, Chong Li seems to be in this for the ego. He likes being number one. He likes being cheered for. Do you get paid if you win this tournament? I don't think so. You just get a sword, maybe?
You get the sword. I love how Frank Deuce has like a different outfit for each day.
Yeah, these kicks are really difficult. Like, it's really impressive how good he is at martial arts.
Yeah, there's a big camp out there of people who kind of slag Van Damme with his martial arts, but I think my understanding is that he's a legit fighter. Even Steven Seagal in his early days was a legit fighter, was he not?
Yeah, well, the thing with martial arts is there's so many different styles and opinions that if someone isn't your style or whatever, they're like, "Oh, you're complete shit." But
okay, these two
to do a lot of the techniques he does is, to me at least, is pretty impressive.
These two guys are legit fighters. I think they got these two guys like, let's get some guys that know how to do karate fighting and just put them in, and just kind of have them showcase a little bit of fights because obviously it's choreographed, but choreograph or whatever that word is. But
choreographed.
Thank you. I hate saying that word, but it's cool. It's a cool little like sequence of events that they do. Now, Frank Deuce is about to fight Grace Jones here. This guy came out of nowhere. We don't see him until this fight, which I always thought was weird because we got everyone introduced. I guess he's a
weirdo.
Yeah, he doesn't speak English, obviously, but he's miming. Okay, first word, I kill you. Second word, he's basically playing. I love the way he flops out the ring there. Okay, watch this kick out the ring. I'm sorry, this is just funny how he flies out the ring. Watch the way he flies out.
Yeah.
Sorry. And okay, now we have Monkey Man is fighting Tonga Sumo Dude or whatever. And this was always kind of a weird the
sumo guy seems like mentally disabled or something.
Yeah, I think he's slow. He's slow, but once he grabs you, you're in trouble. That's this thing. Like,
exactly.
He could take a lot of punishment. He could take a lot of beatings. But if he gets a hold of you, but he's a big man in real life.
Oh yeah, like that guy's over 300 pounds, I'm sure.
This is what I mean about this animalistic. Watch this. So the monkey fighter, I don't know what else to call him. He attacks the big sumo guy by leaping onto his chest, and he bounces off like a ball. And he does this weird. You know how an animal or a gorilla is confused about something. He's like, I don't understand. This is what this guy does. Watch. He does that.
This movie's not kind to the black folks, for sure. This guy seems Mongolian or something. Yeah. That's my guess.
See, watch. I don't get it. See? Confusion. And he tries it again, and
I just gotta slap him. He looks like they're having sex or something. You made him like force him to give him a. It looks like they're no, just enjoying it.
And it's weird that the director here decided to go slow motion with that guy's victory. Like, why did we have to see that guy be victorious in slow motion? Anyways,
Ryan, can we pause just for a second?
Yeah. That's all good.
Ready to go.
Make sure recording. Good. Okay. I love this here. Chong Li's like, no, I got more to do. He's putting on a show for the crowd of the brutality that he'll give to these people, to his opponents. So now Frank Dukes is fighting the big sumo guy.
Oh, the shirt comes off. The sumo guy is like his first real opposition fight.
Yeah, and once he takes off his gi top or whatever, the sumo guy likes it. He puts it something like, "Yeah, all right, you mean business? Let's do it, skin to skin."
Well, he did rape the monkey guy earlier, so maybe that's what he does.
So splits number.
The split saved him there.
Yeah. That shows you the training that. It hurt his leg a little bit there. This is a big opponent. This guy had this fight here. So he kicks him.
His blows are ineffective.
His blows are ineffective. Yeah, yeah.
So now, and then he's bending his arms. Yeah, if Jean-Claude was good at martial arts, like the character, he wouldn't have allowed that to happen to him. His hand grabbed like that, and he would have been able to get out of that hold a lot easier too.
I love that. I love that.
He had a Van Damme-gasm.
The Van Damme-gasm happened. So I want to hear it though. I want to hear it.
He did the death thing where he body and broke his spine.
I love it. It's awesome. It's almost like a Street Fighter Hashuguka or whatever into his gut, and
you win.
But it didn't work. The guy's like, he's like kind of recovering. It's kind of cool. He's like, he gets his air back, and he's like, I am mad. And it's like, all splits.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's gonna have to hit him somewhere where it would hurt anyone, like the throat or the balls. No amount of training could make a ball hit not hurt really bad.
Pushes him down. Great little effect there. Yeah, it should be noted, I'll reveal more at the very end here of Frank Dukes, but it should be noted the Frank Dukes School of Fighting deals with a lot of groin hits and sticks, that pain training you're talking about. Yeah, so it's just interesting that there are some groin shots here for a reason. Because Frank Dukes helped with the choreography, and he actually trained Van Damme for 3 weeks before this movie. So now Ray Jackson is about to fight Chong Li. So you know as a viewer it ain't going to go well, because we know that Chong Li and Frank Dukes are going to be together at the end, right? But what I love about this fight, and what I always found so frustrating, even as a viewer as a kid, or especially as a viewer as a kid, is Ray Jackson actually had Chong Li beat. Yeah,
he's surprisingly good for not being good.
Because he's so brutal in his attacks. I think what happened, he's so unconventional in his craziness that it took Chong Li off guard. Right there.
Yeah.
It stung him, it dazed him, and then he just goes, ouch, hit his knee. He got him on the neck and the top of the head.
Yeah. What an idiot.
But even Frank Dukes says keep going, which I thought was great, because a lot of the movie tropes would be like, yeah, good job, Ray Jackson, you got him. But even Frank Dukes was like, no, keep going.
Yeah, he would have had him. He could have kicked him right out of the ring, and then he would have won. It would have been a huge upset.
Yeah.
This guy's just an idiot. So, and then Chong Li just brutalizes him.
Yeah. And I thought he was going to kill him.
Yeah, same here. But they really... now Chong Li's firmly moving into villain territory.
Right there. That looks like a kill shot. That's a kill shot there of Chong Li with his face.
And then the crazy face.
I have a theory, because we remember we saw Ray Jackson break the brick with his head, and to show how strong his head is. I think Chong Li was going for the kill.
Yeah, I think that's legit theory. It makes sense.
To piss off Frank Dukes, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen because he just Ray Jackson, between his beer drinking and his cement head, it just didn't kill him. What would have killed an ordinary man did not kill Ray Jackson.
Okay, so now we have an Ivan Drago, Apollo Creed Rocky situation. Right here. And the problem is that unlike Rocky and Apollo that had a long-standing relationship that was able to build, these guys knew each other for like 2 days and have nothing in common. But now he's like, I must avenge my friend.
If I had better editing software or knew how to edit, I was actually going to do there's a lot of similarities to Rocky IV and Bloodsport. Yeah. Maybe that wasn't done by accident. But yeah, Rocky holding Apollo in the ring and then staring at the person he's going to fight. I was going to do like a side-by-side video of those two sequences.
Oh. Okay, you just missed a thing here. It says, you're lucky you have a head like a rock.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So you're right. One thing I don't like is that the guy originally came to Hong Kong to honor his sensei or whoever it was in that guy, but you never really hear about that anymore at all. It was just kind of a plot device to get him over to Hong Kong. Now he's fighting to avenge this biker guy he's known for 2 days. Like, that's his motivation.
Yeah, it's only been 2 days. You're right, because they met the day before the first rounds of fight. This is day 2 of fight. This is the second day of a 3-day tournament.
And now this woman here is, don't do it, I care about you. It's like the Rocky Adrian scene.
Yes, exactly.
Except she doesn't know this guy. She like banged him one time, and she was there as a reporter. Oh my God! This is why I was saying like the storyline did not do it for me at all.
That's fair.
This is too much of this type of stuff.
You're right. The way they're acting for how long they've known. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
They have this why are they so emotionally wrapped up with each other? It's a 1980s film. This is storytelling where, because we've had sex, we've known each other for 30 years type dialogue, but we haven't. We've known each other for a day.
Yeah, it seems to me like someone's like, let's make a Jean-Claude Van Damme. Well, let's make an action movie. We found this awesome guy, Jean-Claude Van Damme. We need to find someone to write something so we can have an action movie. We really want a movie that's a tournament where people are fighting, but it can't just be that. So we're going to find someone to write it, and we have a low budget. They banged out a script, and there we have it here. And it doesn't seem very well thought out or very thoughtful, because I don't think anyone cares about it. I think most people who wanted to watch this movie, they want to see the fight scenes.
Yeah, that's the highlight of the film.
Yeah.
So she goes to the cops, and now she's concerned about Frank Duke's safety. So she goes to the police force. Now we have the before we talk about this. So we're talking about the Rocky IV. We'll get to this scene in a second. So she goes to the police, says, "Hey, I know where the Kumite is. I want you guys to stop it." And he goes, "Why do you want to stop the Kumite?" Because my friend Frank Dukes is going to get hurt, and I wanted to stop. So she's doing it to protect the guy that she met a day ago. Now we're seeing Frank Dukes traveling, I guess, from the hospital back to his hotel via subway or whatever, and he's having the no easy way out Rocky IV flashback scenes of the events that have happened in the film 5 minutes ago, just like in the Rocky IV.
Exactly. And I also want to point out the cops thing makes no sense, because as if the cops don't know this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, this happens all the time, and it's also in a place where the cops don't have really any jurisdiction, that walled city. That's why that city exists in the first place. Telling the cops doesn't do anything. And why do the cops care if this American guy gets hurt?
I don't know. So he's having flashbacks of like the fight. Chong Li's on the train with him, but he's not.
Yeah, we were laughing at that. He has some PTSD or something. I don't know.
Which I think is funny, considering he's a soldier, an elite CIA, whatever government operative. But this fight's really rattled his head. This tournament has really rattled him. And he's supposed to be like an elite warrior in the military, but this tournament's really rattled his cage.
Yeah, his biker friend got kicked in the head and survived. He's like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much for my psyche. Oh, now we see there's a little reference to Sensei there. Like, thank God.
Shidoshi.
And now he has this, another split scene.
Oh, number 6.
Hong Kong skyline.
It's a great shot, though.
Hong Kong sure has changed since then, too. Like, the skyline's a lot different.
No, but it's a great shot of him on the terrace there. That's pretty close to the edge.
Yeah, but his balance is such that it really isn't, though. He's in full control. The edge is just his mind. Something like that.
I don't know what you're talking.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
What's his movements here? What's he doing here?
This is just this is a muscle scene. This is for the housewives. They can rub one out to this whenever they want,
or the gay man.
Or the gay man. Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't heteronormal.
We have a few gay listeners, and bless their hearts for their listenership. I know one of them, Miguel. I think he follows both of us on Twitter. He makes no bones about it. Excuse the pun. That he loves this. He loves this movie.
Man, I like it, and I'm not even gay.
No, yeah, he's an easy guy to look at with his physique.
I'm not even jealous. I'm just like, that's cool.
Yeah. So now he's going to the alley for day 3 of the fights, and the FBI agents are there. But what I love is they've set up. There's Hong Kong police hide in the alleyway to surprise attack Frank Dukes as he walks down the hallway, but he just takes him out.
So this is what actually would happen if the Hong Kong police wanted to get him. Frank Dukes would be asleep in his hotel room where they know he is.
Yeah.
And then the SWAT team would come through the door and then pepper spray and tase him and then throw him in jail. They would not go to this Kowloon Wall City where they don't belong anyways and then have them do hand-to-hand combat with this guy who does hand-to-hand combat for a living. And then you have these two clowns who are the worst FBI agents in the world.
So they pull out their tasers again.
Yeah.
But he gets so Frank Dukes pulls out a garbage can lid to deflect and they hit the 2 other Hong Kong officers. I love it.
And he's like, no, we'll take him. And they're like, oh, okay, American guys, we don't know. You just do whatever.
Yeah. And he's now pointing the tasers at them. I think they only fire one round, and you have to reload them.
No. These guys do not try that hard.
Yeah. He goes like, now what do we do? And the older officers, well, I think we should just go watch the fight. Let's go.
He's like, this. We're just going to watch the tournament.
We've gotten this far. We might as well just watch this tournament.
Yeah.
This is a great little comedy scene here. The guy in charge is asking where Frank Dukes is. If he doesn't show up in time, he gets disqualified. And the guy that's been betting on Frank Dukes on every fight is like, where's my man? He's making me money. And the guy's like, too late. It's never too late to wait a little bit. Gives him some money. Frank Dukes shows up and he takes the money back. All right, he's here. I just love that. The bribe that he gives the guy, he just takes it away right away. I love this. There's good little comedy moments like that. I just think those are good little comedy moments.
Yeah, I like that too. That's good.
Some good little side characters here. All right, so the bets are starting. Day 3, the final day of fights. I love how these guys show up late, the FBI agents and the investigative reporter, and they get seats right in the front row.
The tournament organizers have no problem with 2 FBI agents, or at least 2 American-looking guys, just showing up and sitting down. No questions asked.
And they get front row. They get front row seats.
Front row seats too. Yeah. They're not gambling or otherwise making the money either. At least get a drink or something, for Christ's sake. Like, come on.
Yeah, there's no alcohol beverages or anything that I've seen being sold to the crowd. There doesn't seem to be any water, any drinks, any food. There must be no food, no drink. That's a long time to take no water or drink in this facility.
Yeah, you want to get the booze flowing so that the gambling judgment goes down.
So now Frank Dukes is fighting the
Muay Thai guy.
The Muay Thai guy, yeah. He wants to play like pinochle with him or something there? That was weird.
Yeah, they're playing patty cake. This guy isn't Thai though, but he does Muay Thai, I guess, which is fine. There's lots of non-Thais that do Muay Thai, but
is that what the fighting style is?
Yeah, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but I think he's Muay Thai or some facsimile. I would have preferred seeing a Muay Thai guy from Thailand or Southeast Asia or something to this weirdo.
So the fights are going to look. So the fights are getting a little bit tougher.
Yeah, as they should be.
And I love this part here, the back and forth of the kicking. Let's hear this. I love.
Yeah, who can take it more? His training of being hit with the stick is really starting to.
Yeah, this is that stick training. Yeah, I can take the pain, and I love Van Damme's little face there. Like, yeah, I like that. Watch.
I like it. It's like Drago's thing. Like, come on, hit me in the stomach. Such 80s music.
Yeah. It's a great little kick there. It's a great little kick. Watch this like that.
It is so hard to use a spinning kick in a fight. You have to like really, really be comfortable and know how to do that. It has to be so fast that the person doesn't realize what you're doing, because otherwise you're really vulnerable because you're turning your back to them.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Now he's Frank Dukes is staring down Chong Li. He says, "Look, see, I'm a good fighter." And Chong Li's like, "I wonder if Chong Li is afraid at all."
He doesn't appear to be, but then why would he? But yeah, I think so. Actually, he is afraid. I have proof.
Oh,
it's a bit of a spoiler, though.
All right, so here we go.
I'll explain why when it happens. Why we know Chong Li's afraid.
So now Chong Li's fighting his opponent. Is this the? This is the. Yeah. I think this is the one that he kills.
Yeah.
And what I really like about I actually love how they handled the scene, because the people are just the people in charge, the elders, so to speak, are disgraced. But I love how you don't get kicked out of the tournament for killing somebody.
Or DQ. Yeah, you don't get disqualified. Nothing bad happens to you. Like, it's like, what kind of tournament is this? Is this really a no rules tournament or not? Like,
it's full contact. That's all. So death can happen. It just can't be on purpose. But right here, he punches.
But they would have stopped the fight by now. This would be considered a knockout because this guy's like half asleep.
So I think, are we to believe that he breaks his neck there? Is that the idea?
Yeah. Well, he's knocked out already. And then the ref looks at him like, "Are you a murderer? I think you're a murderer."
That's a great. No, but I love that look that the actor playing this ref's give. I kind of like he's not breathing, no pulse, and he looks at Chong Li. Hey, you killed him, you fool. But what's great here? Sorry, what I like here, and this is all joking aside, I love the acting of Bolo Young here. How he grabs the ref's hand and says, "Come on, put my hand up. I'm the champion." Totally spit in the face of proper etiquette. It just.
Yeah.
Watch this.
It shows that he's basically a sociopath or whatever.
This is the villain. Now he's taking full villain role on. Watch.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the champion, see? He's like, yes. Look at that. That's great. That's a great moment there.
The audience, like...
And I love how the ref...
tournament lost all validity now.
Yeah.
Because you said, even though they, like, turn their back to him, they're like, well, he can still fight. Do this again, apparently. Kind of just frowned on. He didn't bow when he was supposed to or something like that. Yeah, because it's not like a guy took a kick to the face and died in part of the fighting. Like, this guy was knocked out and was purposely murdered. This guy should be banned from the tournament forever.
You are next.
He bows to him. That's weird.
No, he bows to the front, see?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So now they're getting ready for the final fight. What did you think of the final fight in general?
It wasn't bad. So this is why I think Chong Li's afraid, and this goes into what I think of the fight. He puts the pill in his pants ahead of time.
Right.
And this is a call. This is a call to reality. Something like this actually had happened in real life. Sonny Liston apparently put a powder on his gloves when he was fighting Cassius Clay. Cassius, known now as Muhammad Ali, was visually impaired for a round or two. They had to like flush his eyes out and stuff. That was Sonny Liston's form of cheating, which is very similar to the cheating here. You wouldn't need that pill if you thought you'd take this guy.
Right. No, you're right.
He knows he could get in trouble fighting him, so he has this cheating method, which means he's really in this fight for the ego, because he's not proving anything to himself by cheating. But he likes the crowd. He likes people cheering him and being known as the champion. And he's probably some sort of narcissistic sociopath.
So he's wearing around his leg. Chong Li is wearing around his leg Ray Jackson's Harley Davidson bandana.
Yes, so this is a good psychological warfare on his part.
Yeah.
He's trolling him, essentially. And also, they seem to change the... was it like this before? Like the...
No, they actually said prepare the
elevated?
ramp. They said prepare the ramp for the final match. Having the ramp or the canvas or whatever you call it, the ring elevated is for the final match, specifically for the final match.
Yeah, and they basically have no respect for the ref or anything here. Like, it's just...
No, it's not they. Chong Li just throws the ref right.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, not they. Yeah, Chong Li. Because, of course, Jean-Claude does, but... Now I break you. This is another Rocky reference.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote this watched Rocky 4 and liked it.
Yeah.
Break my record. Now I break you. Like I break your friend.
I must break you.
Yeah, I know.
I will break your boy.
It would have been great if Van Damme goes, go for it.
Yeah. Oh, he starts out good with it. Oh, the refs.
Yeah, this is a great little shot here. Wah!
Oh, he uses the ref too as a launch pad, which I didn't notice before. And he's helping the ref out, which shows him his character. That he doesn't just care about winning the fight. He cares about the innocent people there too.
So they're exchanging kicks to each other, to the face and the chest, and shaking them off. Not a lot of blocking in this fight.
No, it's very Rocky-esque too. Where people just punch each other in the face.
Yeah, like whatever. Yeah, whatever. See, I love that. Even as he's getting like assaulted in the face, Chong Li's getting kicked in the face back and forth. There's no attempt to put his hands up to block the kick. He just
he seems to be blocking the blows with his face too.
I love this.
Doesn't look the best he's ever been.
It's great. He tries to throw him out of the ring, but it doesn't quite work. He doesn't quite get him across.
Well, yeah, especially with this elevated ring too, that makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
Which is perhaps why it's elevated. But I have the high ground too, a prequel reference for Star Wars, which I hate those movies.
You want to do the Star Wars movies after?
Yeah, we could, but if you like the prequels, then it'll be like a well-reviewed series.
I don't know if that's a big zit on his back or just a mole or something. It's like a big zit on his back. That's a great.
Oh, he has the psycho face here when he went at him.
I want to see it.
Oh, that's a mole there.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. But watch.
Or
I love
cyst,
it.
perhaps?
Yeah, I love this face here.
Yeah, he has a great psycho face.
Yes, he does.
He was very well cast for this role.
Perfect. He is like Dolph Lundgren's Drago to Rocky. He's Chong Li's. Bolo Young's Chong Li's amazing villain.
This is nice that we can incorporate Rocky into this review too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Naturally, like we didn't have to shoehorn Rocky IV in. Like the resemblance was quite obvious almost. Ooh.
So he had him beat here too. So the same way that he told Ray Jackson to keep going, he should have kept going too. But he's too honorable to fight that way when the man's on the canvas. But in this fight, you can take him out. He should have grappled him. He should have gone because you're allowed to hold and grapple, but he didn't even attempt to grapple him.
Or just kick him in the head while he's down or something. Yeah, I know it's kind of like sleazy, but this is kind of a no rules tournament. So
right now
he's blinded a little bit.
Yeah, it's kicking in. The powder in his eyes is getting worse as we speak. Now it's getting worse. He can't see. He's panicking. This is actually great little acting by. I know it's silly, and I love the over the top of it.
And he probably thought when he was doing that why am I doing this?
And I love the blind punch that he does.
Yeah.
And like, I better swing at something. And he's like, nope, that's not where Chong Li is. So now he's just getting punches to the ear, to the head, to the chest.
Man, those ear punches are the worst.
Oh yeah,
because that throws your equilibrium off. Like if you get hit in the ear really hard, like it's hard to like stand up and keep your balance.
And funny enough, Chong Li here himself
makes the same mistake.
Yeah, he's like he should have finished him too.
Yeah.
Well, he goes back to him.
I guess he's so confident since his opponent's blind that he's willing to just toy with him now to embarrass him.
It's like a cat. It's like a cat with a mouse. Just toys with it before he kills it. This is a great little sequence, and for our our 2 or 3 people who are actually watching this with us, I want them to experience this.
Oh shit, are we watching live too?
No.
Oh, okay. Remember what the kid said?
Get up, Frank!
He said to the kid,
that's right.
It's not how hard you could hit, but how hard you could get hit.
Get up. But I love the scream here. It's a great scream because he's actually kind of panicking and pissed off at the same time.
Get up, you son of a bitch! Tanaka loves you. Okay, yeah, this looks weird. He almost seems like a Jesus because he has that hand pull thing.
I know, but I love it. I love it. But he's drawing on his training. He's drawing on his Shidoshi's Tanaka training. Now he can see. Even though he can't see, he can see.
Yeah, you should get DQ'd for using the ref as a weapon in your fight.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. I love how he's using the ref as a point of guidance.
Yeah, the ref is literally a prop or a pawn in this.
Like a WWF or WWE fight, the refs serve no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah.
I love how the FBI agents are rooting. Yeah, might as well root for your guy while you're at it.
Well, yeah. Well, imagine how much trouble they'll get in if he gets hurt. Soldiers don't need good vision, do they, Ryan?
No, they're fine.
Yeah, okay.
They just have to remember their training. And I love how he misses these 4 roundhouse kicks, and even they laugh a little bit.
doesn't do shit. He's just like, I'm just getting roundhouse right now, and I'm not countering at all.
7 splits, 8 splits.
Oh, another Van Dangasm there.
Yeah, Vangasm. We've had about 6 Vangasms, 7 splits. That's a great roundhouse kick.
You know what he's going to do after this fight, too, right? He's going to totally cuck that guy who's with the reporter. Like, that guy, she's going home with the fighter, and that guy's just going to be there like a douchebag.
So Chong Li goes down with 4 roundhouse kicks. It took 4 roundhouse kicks to the face of this guy. Now, watch this. He says, say uncle.
Stand! Stand! Stand!
So that's great. He made Chong Li lose the worst way. Not a knockout, not thrown out of the ring, but by saying uncle.
Yeah, now his legitimacy is like...
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's a great... I
never thought of that, but yeah, it's true.
Yeah, he made him say uncle. Made him beg. And he was just twisting his neck. Like, I wonder how far he would have gone had he not said uncle.
He wouldn't have killed him. It's not in his character.
No.
Not that the writers of this movie give a shit, but...
So he's earned the Tanaka legacy sword from the Kumite fight. He's earned it. The Tanaka clan legacy continues.
Yep.
I did it for you, Shidoshi. Let me hear that. We should have heard that. Sorry.
Okay, so luckily they do make a reference, so this is good.
This is for you, Shidoshi.
They're still alive.
Something
we
real
could
good,
actually show that sword too, probably later.
Yeah, he didn't die before he left for Hong Kong.
Not that we know of. Who knows? But he doesn't seem sick. He didn't say he was sick. He just says he's old. He doesn't look that old. So you could go back with the sword and be like, look, I got this. But no, they decide to do a scene with the beer drinking asshole and this woman that he had sex with one time. And because that's who was important here, not the guy who trained him or not who he was fighting for or anything. Sorry. No, I'm getting so upset about this, but
I love it. So Frank Dukes brings back Ray Jackson's bandana, and apparently this bandana means something. So check out his reaction after receiving his bandana.
Throw that sword in the trash. Like, who cares about the Tanaka shit? I'm bringing this beer drinking slob his bandana.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. If you ever need me, I'll be there.
I love you, my friend.
It's more intimacy between these two guys than him and that other guy.
Me too.
Me too. I love the love they have for each other. It's amazing. So now they're at the airline. The FBI agent's waiting for Frank Dukes to show up.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber here.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't escort him to the plane. They're just hoping he shows to the airport.
It looks like he did it to us again, huh?
Great acting. I love it.
Hey, guys! You're coming or what?
You son of a bitch.
You're always late.
You know, you're really a pain in the ass, you know that?
I'm just glad you're on our side, kid.
I love how he's wearing like an army fatigue type jacket.
He's like Guile on Street Fighter. Oh, she's allowed on the plane too.
No, she doesn't go with him. She gives the honorary, like, okay. Okay, so we should just go back to this. Now we're going to talk about really quickly here as we wrap up. So it says here, this motion picture is based upon the true events in the life of Frank W. Dukes. Okay, here shows his record from 75 to 80. Frank Dukes fought 329 matches. He retired undefeated as the world heavyweight full contact Kumite champion. Everyone follow me so far on the what this guy has done?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Dukes still holds 4 world records as of 1988. Fastest knockout, 3.2 seconds. Fastest punch with the knockout, 0.12 seconds. Fastest kick with the knockout, 72 miles per hour. And most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament, 56.
I saw that number. I'm like, how many fights do you have in that tournament? 56 fights?
There is. People talk about this, and I will talk about it in just a second. I'm not going to play apologist. Subsequently, Mr. Dukes founded the first American ninjutsu system, Dukes Ryu. Sure, I can find one too, I guess, and call it whatever.
That means the way of Dukes.
Okay, sure. Now,
yeah,
I could argue. No, there's some things wrong here with these records. Okay, so this is the fastest knockout was 3.2 seconds, but the fastest punch with the knockout was 0.12 seconds. What does that mean?
The punch itself was.
From
it's
what
weird,
point?
They measure a kick in miles per hour, but I think it's like the punch that took to connect to that guy's face only took 0.12 seconds to get to his face. That's my best guess.
Yeah, it should be worded. It should be, yeah. So, yeah, the fight could have been 3 to 4 minutes long already, but the punch was that quick. How do they measure that? How does it even get measured?
I don't know. This seems a little bullshit.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay, is your BS sensor going off? I've got some stuff to tell you and listeners. Okay, most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament. You're right. He fought 56 people in a single tournament. Now, what I would argue is this might be semantic. This is all poorly written. It's like this was written by somebody whose first language wasn't English. I think what it should say is most consecutive knockouts throughout a singles tournament, or meaning like in a row. So these 56 knockouts was over 10 tournaments.
Many tournaments.
Yes.
Yeah, that's believable.
So that
his knockout streak is 56.
Yes, it should have said exactly. It should say knockout streak 56. Okay, that's actually how I think it's supposed to be read, but it was worded poorly. But that being said, that's the end of my apologies. This guy has been proven to be full of you know what. Okay. Everything that he says has not been verified, and I'll just tell everyone right now on your own time because we don't have time. It's not based on any true. Frank Dukes is a real person. Yes, that is the only. I don't think that's his real name, but he's a real person. He does have this ninjutsu place. It is real. He has a website. He's claimed these stories among some other stories that are just crazy stories. For example, he said that he sold the sword that he won at the end of the Kumite to free some children from pirates at sea, like Somalian type pirates.
That sounds legit. I'm not even going to question that.
Yeah. This guy is a real character. He's online. He's on YouTube. There's videos of him. He looks like the long lost brother of Steven Seagal. He's out of shape. He looks terrible. He's a snake oil salesman. Oh, there's a picture of him with the Kumite trophy, but the people that made the trophy showed the receipt like, no, we made this trophy for him. This is just a trophy that he made for himself to show that he won.
Okay, yeah. Okay. This guy's a idiot.
Yes.
Then. Yeah.
So there's a story within the story of this film. To me, it doesn't take away from the film. Because now Van Damme was trained by this guy. Now, keep in mind, people think Van Damme. Yeah, Van Damme was hoodwinked. Absolutely. He was a young actor. He was 28. English was not his first language. He was hoodwinked by this guy. He was a salesman. He tricked Van Damme. He tricked the company, the movie production. The writer of the film, there's interviews with him when he found out this was all BS after he wrote the film. He just shrugs his shoulders and says, it is what it is. We all got hoodwinked, we got lied to, but we made a fun movie at the end of the day.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, a little
these
bit.
Stats here, but otherwise, who cares? It's
and that's the thing. If you go on
entertaining film, so
if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of debunker videos of Frank Dukes that have been put together, and all the comments say the same thing. Yeah, the guy's a POS, but the movie's fun. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that doesn't change anything that's just based on a true story. I'm always okay. Like it's very loosely. There was a tournament somewhere or something. Like even if it's based on a true story. That could mean anything.
But here's the thing. It is based on a true story in that this is what's kind of crazy. It's based on the brainchild of a lie by a guy named Frank Dukes who told a lie about his life. And this is the story that he told.
Yeah. Yeah. The true story is that a guy told the story. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what makes it kind of cool. To me, this is his fantasy. It'd almost be like Stallone saying, I was a boxer. This is how I became a boxer.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's Bloodsport.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah,
I enjoyed watching that interview. Even though I don't think it's a very good movie, I enjoyed reviewing it and watching it. And my wife also really enjoyed watching it. We had a fun time watching it together.
Yeah, sure. It's not a good.
I enjoyed doing this review with you.
It's not a good film in the sense of a film. I know, but But were you bored?
No.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Were you not entertained, as they say in Gladiator?
Honestly, sometimes when something's bad enough, because it's so bad, it's entertaining too.
There's some bad parts in it, but there's some really great parts too. Like I said, for me, nostalgia is the big winner here. It holds up for my nostalgia, my memories of watching this as a child or as a teenager. It holds up. Special place in my heart. It got me on the Fandam, damn him. Yeah, I love it for what it is, but I recognize that I'm 44 now. Of course, it's silly. The whole thing's silly, but the story behind it's actually. They should make a movie about Frank Dukes. He's kind of like the what do you call it, the Tiger King? He's that type of character.
Yeah,
they should do a Frank Dukes documentary. That'd be kind of interesting. All right, well, there's no ding ding. Do you want to take us out, Kumite? Let's listen to some of that, and then we'll.
I have my version.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Dong.
There you go. Let's leave a little bit with the song and say good night to everyone and put up your dukes.
So I'm prepared to make my way.
Get to the chorus. I want to hear the chorus.
Perfect team. Now's my my chance to live my dream. I'm taking hold of every moment. Given strength by the breath of life. I'm gonna stake my claim. I fight to
Make this stop.
I love it. All right, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man. Have a good weekend.